What's up, boys and girls? Welcome back to the second episode of the Night Call. We're on night 2. Currently we have 357 euros. Let's listen to some radio, shall we? Oh, your finger is poised in front of the car radio, trying to find something to listen to. Listen to the news? Why not? You happened upon the nighttime news. A crime novelist being interviewed about his latest book brings up the judge. He is quick to say that, according to his sources, the first victim owed money to the mafia. And actually, he thinks the whole case is linked to organized crime. Yeah, this is what I was thinking actually on the last episode. The judge is just a front for the real criminals. As soon as this news is over, you turn the radio off so that the cab is silent again. Alright, so we got some evidence of... we kind of lose time as well. We lose half an hour listening to the radio. Okay, there's no newspaper available. Let's not listen to music, as that will just diminish our available time here, represented by this white bar. We don't need fuel at the moment. What's this? I'm kind of curious of what's that. Let me just see what's down here. Another passenger? Wow, this is way out. Shall we just pick up a passenger first? Not sure what is this. Let me pick up this passenger right here so we can get some money straight away. I mean, we're not doing bad. We have 350 euros. Alright, so this is Phil Bourgeois. Charles de Gaulle, make it snappy. Alright, 17 euros. To the airport, once again. Is it the airport? I'm not sure. The passenger who settles in the back seat could be a male model. Alright, checking this guy out, huh? He asks you to take him to Charles de Gaulle Airport. Yeah, it's the airport, okay. His voice is mild and pleasant. You sense your passenger wants to talk about the killer. It's simple. Since the first murder, everyone thinks they know something. Everyone thinks they saw something. And this passenger is no exception. You watch him in the rearview mirror as he adjusts his clothes, checks his breath, obviously primping. You drive people to the airport all the time. They bring along a suitcase or a bouquet of flowers. Your passenger doesn't have either. He is looking at himself in the rearview mirror. His lips part and he runs his tongue over his teeth. That's a bit weird, okay. Nothing stuck in my teeth, right? Okay, alright, he's just, alright, grooming himself, okay. Thought he was making a move on me or something. You shake your head no. You wonder why is he going to the airport. You're wondering why I'm going to the airport, aren't you? Wow, this guy's a mind reader. Hold up. Yes. I could tell you were curious. I'll tell you, but it's a secret. His voice has changed, as if he were about to deliver a speech. Women today are too smart for us, men. Too smart. They're on to us the minute we try to hit on them. He crinkles his nose as if there were a bad smell in the crab. There are dozens of books on how to get lucky, on how to score, but they all make the same big mistake. Do you know what the mistake I'm talking about is? They're written by men. Yeah, that's okay. They're stupid. They probably, yeah. I like the first answer. I don't see why that's a problem. After all, deer don't write books on hunting, do they? Yeah, but... okay, never mind. Didn't get the joke. Alright. He smirks. No. Let me tell you. All those books about hitting on women never tell you where the best hunting grounds are. A theatrical pause. Oh, is this the airport? Let me guess. Airport. Another theatrical pause. It's brilliant, right? Women in airports are lonely, emotional, and available. This guy's a douchebag. Fuck's sake. On the streets, they're always in a hurry, don't have any time. At the movies or in museums, they don't want to be disturbed. But at the airport, he is clearly very proud of himself. He remains silent. He crinkles his nose and sniffs again. Is it me, or is there a funny smell in your cab? You sniff too. Sorry. I don't smell anything. He shrugs, then goes back to his monologue. Personally, I prefer older women. Alright, for the money, I'm guessing. Let him talk. Single moms who are at the airport to pick up or send their kids to their exes. Hey, my mom did this. What the fuck? I'm getting very uncomfortable right now. They are waiting at the unaccompanied minor's counter to get information about a late flight or a gate change. I walk over to the counter, look at the flight information, pretend to be worried. My sister, I say. I'm waiting for my little sister. She's never been to Paris before. I'm going to take her to the Louvre. She wants to work in fashion someday. She's already very talented. I hope everything is okay, that she had a good flight. She means the world to me. She's my half-sister, but I love her like a sister. Look at his douchebag face, look at him, oh my god. A smile, he takes another sniff, glances around the cab and picks up where he left off. The half-sister line, it works every time. Divorced parents, remarried. Every time. Kinda sounds like Barney from How I Met Your Mother, but okay. He bursts out laughing. I really don't want to keep... I don't want to be rude, just let him talk. A word of advice though, you have to get there early. Make a day of it. Keep an eye on the domestic flights, the delays, the companies. It requires a little preparation, but I usually go home with 20, even 30 numbers. In 6 hours. Not bad, eh? And let me guess, you don't call any of them, you fucking douchebag? Alright. Another thing, I wouldn't recommend Orly. The counters are a disaster there. You have to go back and forth between the different levels. It's exhausting. What's Orly? Is that an airline company? I'm not sure. And the neon lights, they ruin your eyes. No, Roissy is definitely the way to go. The domestic flights terminal. He rubs his hands together. I can feel it. Today is my lucky day. It's going to be amazing. They're going to fall for me, big time. You can't resist. You give a slight cough and say, "Excuse me, do you mind if I ask you something, a personal question?" "No, of course not. Not at all. Anything to help you understand my game plan." "Do you really need to go through all that?" "Yeah." "Do you realize you're a total asshole?" "Yeah." Yeah, I'm guessing this is my question. Do you really need to go through all of that? I'm not sure I understand what you're getting at. Well, you're rather attractive, physically. A slight pause. And? Is it really necessary to go all that trouble to pick up women? Don't women like you? That's beside the point. He just likes the chase, I think. He just likes the game. It's more efficient, more productive. I go on the make twice a week, and I end up with dates for several weeks. And it's also a lot easier. It's less, how should I put it, personal. I know it won't ever get serious, and that's what I'm looking for. Do you see what I mean? Not sure I want to. You're afraid of women? Yeah, probably. Feels intimidated by them. Doesn't want to get serious with anyone? Not sure. I don't really know what you mean, honestly. What does that have to do with anything? Oh my god, I think I pissed him off. You talk about women as if they might hurt you. So you hurt them to protect yourself. He bursts out laughing, but you can see he's uncomfortable. Wow, you're a shrink and a cab driver, am I right? I have to say, it's a great idea for drumming up more business. It's a downright revolution. Another nervous laugh. We're talking about scoring here. No need to get all worked up. It's not like anyone died or anything. There is a slight tremor in his voice. If they don't want to give me their number, they don't give me their number. I never insist. And a lot of guys do stuff that is a lot worse, right? So enough of the feminist bullshit theory. The cab pulls to the drop-off point. Your passenger pays the fare in a hurry. He climbs out of the cab, then turns around, somewhat hesitant. To be perfectly honest, you shouldn't talk to your passengers like that. His voice takes on an unpleasant, whining tone. Not very professional. If I had an app, I'd give you a bad rating. He squares his shoulder and he's about to walk off. And you should wash your cab too. It smells like shit. He walks away. Under the sole of his right shoe, you catch sight of dark brown spots. The passenger disappears into the airport. Oh my god, what douchebag. What a total jerk-off. Alright. You roll down the backseat window and start up the cab. You better not fucking stink up my cab. And it even leave a tip! Oh, that's so annoying. Alright. And we're all the way out here at the airport. Okay. We can listen to the radio again, which is a bit unsettling. But I'm just gonna go and go to this point here. Or maybe should I make my way close? I'm not sure what. No, I'm gonna go to it. See where that leads me. Oh, what the hell is that, actually? Man, what a total douchebag, for fuck's sake. Shouldn't be talking to my passengers like that. I don't care talking to my passengers the way I want to talk to them. If you want a rating app, get an Uber, for fuck's sake. You park a few streets away from the Argentinian embassy. You wait there for your contact. You sigh. Seems so hard to have contact. So excessive. The guy is one of your regular poker buddies, a night watchman at the embassy. You get out of your taxi and walk towards a big metal gate. Clean lines. Early 20th century, maybe. Lots of wrought iron. The gate opens and someone moves towards you. They indicate you should follow them. The person's face is hidden by an oversized hoodie. Your heart starts beating faster. What if it was... Who are you? It's me, Jamie. You're David's buddy. You immediately recognize his accent. You don't feel like you're in any danger and decide to follow it. You walk into a narrow, covered passageway, probably the entrance to the parking garage. The man turns around and lights up a cigarette. The lighter lights up his face for a second. A young man with curly hair, pale skin. He looks young, very young. That'll be 250 euros. What? For the intel? Yeah, for the intel. Where's Jamie? It doesn't appear. I mean, it's a bit weird. Okay. He laughs. A strange, guttural sound. Guttural sound? What do you think this was? A date? You want information on Gorodischer? I got information on Gorodischer, and it'll cost you 250 euros. So what will it be? I don't even know what information on who. Is this a person or a place? Gorodischer? What the hell is that? But let's bargain. He raises his hands in front of his chest. His accent becomes stronger. No. 250 euros or nothing. If someone learns I fished around, they'll fire me on the spot. Alright, let's take this information. I'm not sure what that is. So we just lost 250 for that price. You hope the intel is good. You pay. Listen up, because I'm not gonna say it twice. Gorodischer is definitely a colonel from the junta. One of the few who wasn't arrested and put on trial. He is responsible for torturing dozens of political opponents. He tortured and killed them. You know, we don't like him much here, but the rich Argentinians in Paris love him. They really respect him. Is that all? I read in the newspaper that a killer wrote a message in chalk. Time's up. It was a slogan at the end of the junta. A sort of watchword for the opponents. It was time for them to go. You get it? He nods. A second later, you're back in your taxi, with a hole in your wallet, but with new information on one of the victims. If you follow this lead, maybe your investigation will move forward. You start the car and get back to your shift. Okay, so that's piece of information. Okay, alright, that's fair enough. Let me go... Let's pick up the cat, shall we? What the hell is this cat? So we learned one of the victims was potentially connected to this colonel from the junta, the Argentinian junta. And this is Krauke. He wants to go somewhere. Alright, let's just accept. You pull up to the sidewalk and wait for your passenger. Since it looks like a no-show, you get out of the cabin after a minute or two to smoke a cigarette. There's not much going on in this small town in the suburbs. There are a few apartments that still have lights on. A sweet scent hangs in the air. Eventually, you stub out your cigarette and get back in the car. You jump, startled. A cat has emerged to slip into the cab. It's sitting on the back seat, staring at you intently. You sit there for a moment, considering whether or not to shoo it away. But just as you are about to wave your hand, the cat shifts positions and a slip of paper falls from its collar. This is very weird. Okay, let's pick up the paper, shall we? Pick up the piece of paper and then fold it. A fragment of a map of Paris, the Saint-Lazare train station. You turn your eyes slowly to the cat. He seems to be expecting an answer. Are you going somewhere? Cat tilts his head to the side, as if to say yes. You want to go to Saint-Lazare? The cat tilts his head again. Are you a dog? Cat slowly nods its head no. Your hands clutch the wheel tightly. What the hell is going on? You turn around to face the cat. Fine, I'll take it. You let out a sigh. Okay, fine. You start talking to yourself in low tones, as if to balance the conversation. Normal. This is all perfectly normal. You start the cab, but cast a glance at the kite behind you. You're the one who ordered the cab? You start to laugh. A few minutes go by. You try to break the ice. Simple questions are probably best. Everything okay? Neither a yes or a no. More of a plaintive meow. Are you on vacation? Are you meeting someone? Nope, that's not it. The cat is staring at you. The conversation seems to bore him. You seem to be well fed. Pretty strange, I must say. Did someone hurt you? A plaintive meow. You sigh. Your owner? Another meow. A longer and deeper, more heartfelt. You nod your head. What happened? Was it a man? No answer. A woman? Was she mean to you? The cat seems to be uncertain. She had other cats? The cat gives you a look full of disbelief. No, that's not it, eh? You're independent. You'd like to be alone, right? Your owner isn't around for you? The cat doesn't seem to understand. For instance, your owner is never home. You're bored. You want to spend more time playing. If cats could roll their eyes, he would have. The cat doesn't seem to feel like talking anymore. He turns his head away, looks at the street out the window. You're not far now, after the next light. You point to a light in the distance. That's Saint-Lazare. We'll be there soon. A few yards later, you stop at the drop-off area in front of the station. The first train doesn't leave for another hour. Where are you going? The cat stares at you without making a noise. Let me guess. Saint-Lazare. If you were going to the suburbs of Paris, you wouldn't have needed to come into town. So somewhere in the northwest of France. Normandy? Brittany? Let's go Brittany. Your passenger glares at you. Okay, right, not Brittany. The cat lets out a choppy meow. He wants to get out. Alright, go on. No, let's give up. Maybe he's not. I don't think he's very interested in this. Okay, I won't bother you with all of that. Was that a meow of thanks? You sigh. Okay, come on. Time to say goodbye. You get out of the cab and open the back door. A bill has appeared on the seat next to the cat. It is enough for the fare, and more. Well, you are full of surprises, aren't you? I won't ask you where it came from. You smile and lean over to pet the cat. He leaps out of the car and darts between your legs. You can just make out his shape, dashing up a flight of stairs and slipping between the bars of a gate. You get back in the car. You look at yourself in the rearview mirror. Your features are heavy with fatigue. Your right eyelid is twitching. You start the car. You remember you are allergic to cats, but you haven't sneezed once. You pull out station. He gave me 5 cents as a tip? Come on. Alright. So it's very late. I'm not sure. We get some fuel now. We're cool with fuel. We have some people here that we should be able to take. That was very weird. It kind of gave me like a... I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Haruki Murakami, this author. And all of his books, there's like a cat or two. Like in there as a reference for something like mythical. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool author. Good books. And it just kind of gave me some vibes of it. But anyways, let's continue on. Let's pick up this passenger right here. I'm not sure if I should be picking up the cat if I see him more often, because I'm not sure how he can give me any insights to this investigation, you know? Okay, so I'm not sure if we refuse, we waste the time. So see here, when we finish this, it's going to be 2:17. I'm not sure if you refuse it, we waste the time, but I'm not gonna do that, especially since we need the money now. All right, so I need to go to Faubourg Saint-Honoré. Okay. The next passenger getting in your cab has a surprisingly calming presence. He gently closes his door and gives you an address on the other side of the city. You start driving. You sense your passenger wants to talk about the killer. It's simple. Since the first murder, everyone thinks they know something. Okay, we kind of read this already. Well, give me another clue. I'm not sure why. Okay. Rather chilly out, isn't it? His voice is warm and deep. Finally, you notice his white collar. You're not too cold? Oh, is it like a priest? No, I'm alright. I'm good. You've got a lot of grit to want to drive in this kind of weather. The holy water font froze yesterday. We had to pour boiling water over it to break the ice. He pauses for a moment. He looks at the car, the seats, the windows. It's funny. I'd never made the connection before today, but a taxi is kinda like a confessional. A small box removed from the world where two people can converse without the risk of being interrupted. He waits. You look at him in the rearview mirror. Do people blabber on about their lives? Sometimes. He looks outside and continues speaking softly. I was sure of it. His face lights up. Why, yes, I'm doing exactly what my parishioners do when they come for confession. They start with small talk, the weather, their grandson, granddaughter, niece, their dog, then they finally get around to what really matters. They share lies, trickery, stinginess. He sighs. I've been listening to people's confessions for over 15 years and it's funny, but no one has ever told me anything really serious. He's waiting to see how you react. No crimes, no nothing? Really? A slight smile on his face. There have been things that are hard on a personal level, but never anything illegal. It's just that the people I hear in confession have so much to say. Of course, we all have things that we are ashamed of. Freud clearly understood the importance of the confession booth. He made it into something more modern, more attractive, and less punitive. He pauses. Before going to seminary, I never doubted my calling, but since... He leans in closer. His voice is now lower and softer. Since then, I have a clearer understanding of the world. I can connect religions, full of thoughts, ideas. And living in a country that is less and less religious, it's hard not to start wondering. Your passenger makes a sound like a cork popping from a wine bottle. I have something I want to tell you. It doesn't bother me that people stop believing or believing something else. Why our faith more than another? He struggles to find his words. What bothers me is that I'm not bothered by it. It's like I've already accepted it. He looks outside. Is there such a thing as driver-passenger confidentiality? He pauses, then bursts out laughing. I'm kidding. But I do wonder what people talk to you about. How would you feel about swapping stories? I don't like that, but he might have some insights to one of the victims or suspects. Let's go for it, yeah. Really? I didn't think. He smiles. Well, I'm not as saintly as you, Father, but let's do this. Nothing leaves this car, right? You nod. Who first? You. Since you brought it up, you start. Of course, it's only normal. There was this old man whose wife died very young. Since she was an avid churchgoer, he continued to come every Sunday morning. He clarifies. You should know that it's rare to see men alone at church. There are couples, lots of old ladies, mothers, young women. Church is not very manly, unfortunately. But anyway, he came. One day, he asked me to take his confession. We sat down, a long moment of silence went by. I usually let him get acclimated to the muffled sounds coming from outside the booth, especially if it's their first time. And there, he tells me that he's in love with someone, but doesn't dare betray his deceased wife. She was everything to him, you see, his sun, his oxygen. For the last 20 years, he's been suffocating, incapable of living alone. He wondered if it was a sin, or wrong, or if he might upset his wife up in heaven. He pauses a minute to let a smile spread across his face. I managed to find the right words, but he still wasn't sure and said he'd come back to talk to me again. He stops. He died that night in his sleep. I think of him often. We don't always hear our calling. We avoid our own destiny. His expression freezes. He hesitates, opens his mouth, stops himself, then finally... Your turn. You look at him. Well, that story wasn't really interesting. I mean, it's just an old man, okay. Thought it would be actually have something to do with my investigation, but we'll tell him a story, I guess. My story's a bit like yours, actually. Story that haunts you. You think about it regularly. And not only because of everything that followed. The night of the terrorist attacks, the other drivers and I were helping people get home. We drove around, waved to people to get in, telling them it was okay, that everything was going to be alright. It was chaos. They all wanted to go home to their loved ones who weren't answering their phones. The slightest odd noise made them jump. Anyway, a woman and her husband got in the car. He wore a headscarf. He was glued to his phone. They gave me an address and we drove towards Rue de Rivoli. The radio was announcing the first estimations of the number of deaths. He started crying. She looked at me, stared at me in the rearview mirror, like she wanted to read my mind. We'd almost arrived when he told her to take her scarf off. Then that would be easier for everyone that way. She refused. He raised his voice. She continued to stare at me in the mirror. A car speeds in front of you. You stop talking. How reckless. You glanced at the meter, the green light, your rearview mirror. In the back seat, your passenger leaned slightly forward. And what did you do? I nodded, insinuating that she was right. That it would all come down to that. She kept her headscarf on. I pulled over in front of the building. He got out first, walked towards the building without waiting for him. He paid me, lowered his eyes. It takes a second to proceed with the story. He holds your gaze, his hands clasped. Impressive, very impressive. You're saying we should remain proud of and faithful to our convictions. You nod, your passenger smiles, but something is not quite right, as if the smile were forced. Thank you for swapping stories with me. You've almost reached your destination. You noticed your passenger has been keeping an eye on the dashboard clock. Park in front of the address he gave you and cut the motor. The passenger pays his fare suddenly seems lighter, more at ease. Good luck. He gets out of the taxi and disappears into a nearby building. Alright, we just got a big tip of that. 477, nice. So it was good that we shared the stories. Alright, so let's get to another passenger here. Just not sure who to pick. Already 2 in the morning. There's a guy that looks like Santa Claus. And there's a guy right behind him. Let's go with Santa Claus, why not? I can't select him, alright. The Champs-Élysées, I think. Yeah. Your next passenger smells like beer. Oh, he's a drunk Santa Claus? That's nice. No, it's even worse. It's like every single fiber of this Santa suit has been soaking in a keg. Come on, dash away. His breath is 96% brandy. Your eyes are starting to sting. I'm parked somewhere near the Champs-Élysées. Oh shit. The name of the street is... His head is spinning and he does his best to hang on the door. Impas. They'll come back to me. Go ahead, drive. You start driving and silently wonder how to ask your passenger if he has enough money to cover fare. You glance back at your passenger. He's mumbling to himself, but you can't quite make out what he's saying. Christmas is over, so why is he still dressed up? What's the suit for? Oh, you have a nice evening? Probably. Had the best of evenings. Oh, fabulous! A smile spreads across his face. And I really needed it. He lowers his voice. He's confiding in you. After working my ass off all year long, I hit... excuse me. I like to hit my favorite pubs. I get monumentally wasted. He guffaws? What the hell is that word? I never heard that. Guffaws. Here in Paris, there are a bunch of bistros perfect for just such an occasion. No one talks to you, and they have white wine, so dry it. So they have white wine so dry it eats away at the inside of your mouth. And so many different types of brandy: pear brandy, cognac. He closes his eyes in delight. And sometimes I order just one eeny-weeny beer to cleanse the palate. He's almost whispering. Okay, it's usually not one of them fancy microbrews. There. He jumps. Oops. But don't tell anyone, okay? Just imagine if people found out Santa Claus thought the beer here tasted like piss. He laughs a sparkling laugh. When he stops, it's just to throw out non-committedly? Alright. Anyway, you can't say anything anymore. Honestly, With all the trouble I go to, people should just leave me the fuck alone. All those fair weather activists, they still want their little snot-nosed miracles to get the latest stupid toy. Oh, hey, speaking of snot-nosed kids. What is it with this manure pile of a new generation? 50 years back, you could give a kid a book and he'd go on about it his whole life, all starry-eyed. But today's little whiners, what an eyesore. Fucking hell. They want to have it all, but they don't like anything. They all have GSMs when they're 8. The hell is a GSM? Those things cost a whole month's wages. How can you possibly make them happy after that? How? He's staring at you, waiting for you to answer. Wooden toys? Probably not. A trip? No idea. Honestly, I have no idea. Kids do have a lot of things nowadays. I have no idea. He raises his hands. At least, you're honest enough to say you don't know, and I appreciate your honesty. He closes his eyes, like he's taking a moment's rest. You want me to tell you what they really want? What kids these days want are machine guns and dolls whose hair you can fix. He seems to have calmed down for a second, but it was just an illusion. Speaking of which, both girls and boys like those dolls whose hairs you can fix. He twitches his mustache in silence. Back when I still made toys for kids, I can tell you, they couldn't care less about them. Wait, is this really Santa? It's not just a guy in costume. This is really Santa, I think. Couldn't give a damn. They just wanted to have fun, play, laugh, and forget that their parents were losers. He leans over to you, rife with anger. Fuck, that's the real problem, I'm telling you. Parents are losers, idiots. Putting kids into this world, those guys haven't got a clue. Am I right or am I right? I mean, have you seen the state of the ice cap these days? Have you? Huh? Because there's not much of it left. He pauses. Now, I can't say it's all bad. I don't have as many polar bears coming into my yard. Damned nasty beasts, vicious, mean. I'm not sad to be rid of them. He heaves a long sigh through his beard. Before, things were different. Tears form at the corners of his eyes. Shit, I can't talk about the past without crying like a little girl. He throws you a sideways glance. No need to stare! You don't even have time to react and he starts back into his rant. I remember you, you know? Tell the truth, I remember everyone, every single person. You were an angry one. So terribly angry. And your letters, your handwriting, holy fuck, were they hell to decipher? Don't worry though, the elves handle all that for me. You could hear a hint of disgust in his voice when he brought up the elves. Otherwise, I wouldn't have time to do nothing. Yeah, you were just furious. Like someone punched you in the stomach. Your brother was giving you hell. Someone's wrenching your gut. Man, what an... He suddenly thinks of something and stops talking. His gaze wanders outside. Yeah, anyway, let's talk about something else. How do you know all of that? You still don't get who I am? You stare at him in the rearview mirror. Look kid, I'm not gonna spell it out for you. And something tells me you'd rather avoid the subject. A little something called jail. Another punch to the stomach. So there's your Christmas present. We're not gonna talk about it. He smiles, opens his eyes wide. Wait, I think we're almost there. Slow it down a bit, kid. He searches outside for... what are you looking for? We're looking for my sleigh, kid. What else? He looks at you with pity. It shouldn't be hard to spot. There's the sleigh and a couple half-dozen reindeer. He heaves a funny sigh. I'm sure it's like in an alleyway somewhere. Oh, right over there. Turn right. You obey and go up a street you were on a few seconds before. A few meters down, your passenger stifles a yelp. Oh shit, he was right there. Drive around the block. You turn again. In back, your passenger is mumbling. I'm gonna have to get one of those thingamajigs, GPSs. It'll help me find my sleigh more easily. You eventually pull over in an alley, no lights, a few empty office buildings, and some trash cans that haven't been emptied for days. Kids, sorry about before. I didn't mean, bring up any sort of points. He pays his fare. Watch your back, kids. He gets out, slams the door. He slips on the wet sidewalk, grabs onto a street lamp. With a heavy and awkward step, he clumps along the alley. Let me just make sure he's fine. You sit for a moment, watching him. At the end of the alleyway, he starts rummaging through a pile of boxes, pushes a trash can on wheels aside, and disappears. Stay a bit longer. A few minutes go by and nothing. You turn the key and start driving again. You open the window for a second, hoping to get rid of the alcohol fumes. Something tells you you'll stick around for a while. Alright, we just made a 194 tip and 20 euros in profits. Cool, not much of a tip, Santa. I can't believe I really actually picked up Santa, but okay. So the night is nearer to an end. I think we have time to pick up another passenger. Not sure who we're going. Who's this guy? Is this Captain America? No. No, that's the Eiffel Tower, not an A for Captain America. Maybe it's Captain Paris or something. Yeah, let me pick up this guy then. Looks... his picture is a bit shadowy as well. Very dark. Alright, so this is Sean Christie. I have to go home. Okay. So that's 10 kilometers. It'll take me most of my nights or the remainder of the time. But we okay, we have... It's alright. So the passenger getting in your cab is clearly upset. He gives you an address near the Pantheon. You know the address, a residence for foreign students. You often drive American and Chinese students there. You start the cab. Passenger in the backseat is furious about something. Excuse me. He has a very thick American accent. You look up. Can I ask you something? You nod. How do the police usually treat black people in your country? I mean, in general. What is their behavior like? He isn't very sure in his pronunciation. Well, I don't know. Let's answer honestly, I guess. I'd say the police have a problem with black people. You reveal your teeth as you continue speaking. And Arabs. And anyone wearing a hoodie. Hoodie? Yeah, wearing sweats. Yeah, if you dress like someone from the poor neighborhoods, they give you a hard time. What does Rakail mean? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. It's a new word to him. You shake your head. Well, it's a word with sort of negative connotations. Negative? Yes, definitely. He gives you a smile. Now I get it. They thought I was a lowlife, a Rakail. Even with your accent? Well, they didn't seem to understand me very well, or maybe they thought I was making fun of them? He sighs. You give him a second chance to catch his breath. His anger seems to be letting up. Where are you from? He seems surprised by your question. Chicago, the States. What's it like there? Really beautiful, especially the architecture. A glance out the window, he's quiet for a moment. Not Paris, not France, but I miss it. I miss it so much. A pause. Look, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have jumped on you with that question like that. Oh, don't worry about it. This afternoon, after school, I got mugged in the metro by some guy. His voice drops to a whisper. He was the same age as me. He stole my money and phone. He raises his voice a little. Luckily, I still have my credit card and my papers. I went straight to the police station and I was there for 8 hours. I'm tired, upset, about ready to quit. He raises his voice even more. I like France, but it's just as hard here as it is at home. People look down on you because they don't like the look of you. That's the right expression, isn't it? You nod yes. They say France is the land of freedom, of human rights. But you have to behave a certain way here, too. The right way. He screws up his eyes. I'd like to be judged, objectively. But I guess there's no such things as objectiveness. He settles back into his seat. What are you studying? Excuse me? A minute ago you said you were leaving school when you were mugged. What are you studying? I'm studying to be a mime. A mime? Seriously? Go ahead, say it. Okay. Sorry, I didn't say anything. No, but go ahead. I'm used to it. I'm not going to make fun of it or anything. I just didn't know mime schools existed. Yeah, honestly, I didn't even know that. He gives you a big smile. Imagine when I moved to France to study. My American friends are still having a good laugh. What exactly are you learning to do? Acting techniques, stage production, makeup? Anything related to the art of mime, really? Aren't there any mime schools in the US? Your passenger gives a little laugh. No. That's why I didn't want to leave, but it's the only thing keeping me in France. You sigh. France is not for everyone. What do you mean? I mean the French usually stand up for their country. They're worse than Americans. A country is like a romantic relationship. Can't fall in love with everybody. We have our likes, our dislikes. Then we fall under the spell again. He's watching you. Are all cab drivers philosophers like you? You flash a smile. I don't know. The passenger gives a little laugh, then his eyes glaze over with an expressionless, perhaps even sad look. Thanks, man. It was good to talk to you. He slipped into the informal "to" form, no doubt by accident. I have a hard time controlling my anger sometimes. That's why I had trouble with the police today. How so? Well, to start, they made me sit in a room for hours with a woman who was clearly a prostitute. They didn't want to take my statement. They didn't want me to file a complaint. I had to insist. They made fun of my studies, but I'm used to that. A small smile appears at the corner of his mouth. And then, when I started to get a little mad, when I mentioned the American embassy, they said if I wasn't happy here, I should go home. Certain innuendos were a little... When I got out, there were no more metros, so here I am, telling my life story to a philosopher cabbie. He gives you a smile. Cops, they're complicated here. Do they treat you badly too? You smile and shake your head. No need for him to know. Suddenly, the Pantheon appears among the dark buildings. Its white dome breaks up the dull orange and brown tones of the Parisian night sky. Your passenger breathes a light sigh of satisfaction. Beautiful, isn't it? No doubt about it. You park in front of the residence where the young man lives. He pays the fare and stretches his hand towards you. Thanks again. Meeting you was just what I needed. You shake his hand. He has a strong, confident grip. You know, you should film your rounds at night. It'd make a great series. You answer with a smile. He opens the door, gives you a big smile, then disappears. You hold your arms close to your sides for a moment, catch your breath, trying to control the anxiety welling up inside. The mere mention of police and you start the cab. Alright, fare is done. Made it 30 euros, not quids. Out of that, I think the night is pretty much over. Or maybe we can pick up another passenger? I'm not sure. But I'm going to take a quick break here and then we'll continue on the next episode. All right, thank you so much. Bye bye.